Oh, it has been hot. I'm sitting here dragging a Texas rig worm in about 20 feet of water trying to find the bass because it's one of the few spots I know they're going to be. When it gets really hot, like it has been across North Texas the last 5 days, we've had temperatures, oh, I got one. We've had temperatures around 100 to 105 degrees. So it's been really hard to find the bass. They don't like to hang out in the shallow water because there's not nearly as much oxygenated water. So instead, right off. Yes. Oh, easy. Little guy, but at least I found one. The problem is that there is less oxygenated water when it gets really warm. The warmer the water, the less oxygen there is in the water. So, for you and me, that means we have to be particular about where we search for the fish. In this case, I'm in about 20 feet of water. That's above the thermocline. Now, what is the thermocline? The thermocline is that separation between a little less oxygenated water underneath to the more oxygenated water above. There we go. Wife says hi. So like I was saying, there are only a few spots where there's enough oxygenated water for those fish to really get back in there and get involved. One of those spots is down in deeper water, above the thermocline. So the way you can find that, sometimes your electronics will be able to tell you exactly where that is. You'll be able to see it. Usually is kind of a pixelated area underneath. And that's where the thermocline is because the denser water shows up a little differently on your graph. But you can also tell by finding out where the bait fish are. Usually the bait fish will be hanging out just above where the thermocline is. Get my gear set back up, or toss it back out there. Maybe I'll find another one. But that's just one spot. There are a couple of spots that you can also look. Now, you can go shallow. You can certainly go shallow, but you've got to go to an area that either has some vegetation, because the vegetation will certainly create some additional oxygen in the water. It has to be green vegetation, of course. You want it healthy vegetation. Or you can try to find yourself some current, some moving water. That's another place where the fish would like to hang out. Now, in terms of finding the fish, 3 locations. 1, deeper water above the thermocline. That's that separation between less oxygenated water underneath, more oxygenated water above, where that mixing takes place. Now, that doesn't mean it's going to be super shallow. If it's too warm, then that water can't hold nearly as much oxygen. So it needs to be mixed, or it needs to be near some vegetation. So what are your 2 choices? Choice 1 is to be near some vegetation in the water if the water is more shallow and consequently warmer. Also, you want to look for current, moving water. I have a little bit of a breeze from the south right now, and it's moving some of the water on the surface, but the more wind you have, the more current you have. Perhaps you have rivers, streams, tributaries coming into the body of water you're fishing. That would be another place that you can look to see if you can find the fish. Where there's oxygen, there will be fish. Now, this weather pattern that we're in, it's been rough. Last 5 days here in North Texas, 100 to 105. We finally cooled down a little bit today, have a few more clouds thanks to that ridge of high pressure moving away from us. And that is the source of the heat during the summer months. That ridge of high pressure just hangs out usually in the middle part of the United States. Right now, it's working its way back toward the west. That's good for us. That gives us a chance to at least have some cooler air try to come back in. It's going to be drastically colder. It's still August, so instead of 100 to 105, we're going to be more like probably 92 to 97 over the next few days. That's a little bit better. That's a break for us, but elsewhere in the country, it is still plenty hot. So you have to keep these things in mind when you're starting to fish. Also know that that ridge of high pressure probably won't truly break down until we get into late September or October. So you got to be patient. If you're in the south, I know it's hot and I know you want to get out and fish, and it's hard, it's a grind to try to even find the fish. But if you give it a little bit more time, we've got about probably, give or take, about a month left, and then we'll start to see some of that fall pattern shape up. Assuming, of course, we don't have a late season heat streak like we did last year. So hopefully this video kind of helped you out a little bit, understand a little bit more about what happens during the heat of summer and how that heat has an impact on that body of water you're trying to fish. And hopefully you'll be able to find the fish and catch a few good ones. Let me know in the comments section below if you do. I'd love to hear back. And additional feedback or comments you have, please let me know. Like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you again soon. Thanks for watching Brian's Bassin' and Forecasting.